So you pull and build Acacia Kaguya?
No. So you have chosen him. No. Wait. No! Let me tell you something!
I can explain.
私とかぐやが揃えば願いを一つ叶えられるなんてね
Our first limited character, Acacia Kaguya, is well known for her support role, where it writes crystal clear at her signature weapon Fine Aurora that every time her support skill hit an enemy, it can increase full squad damage by 3% for 5 seconds, and it can stack up to 5 stacks. Also, it can increase her frost elemental damage by 9%. This gun attribute have a low fire rate and low ammo capacity, but if you are someone who cannot aim properly like me, if you prefer a high fire rate pistol with more ammo capacity, then you better use her free-to-play weapons that have high fire rate and more ammo capacity, but have a half lower crit damage than her signature weapon. Both of the signature weapon and free-to-play weapons are being made to buff her support skill instead of her standard skill. And for her logistic squad, you can use Twilight Squad that can increase her active skill by 24% and also can reduce the target resistance to frost elemental damage by 16% for 5 seconds. So this squad skill can increase active skill, which means her standard or support skill can be affected by this squad skill. While for her free-to-play squad, they can focus on increasing your ultimate energy recovery, but investing on this 4-star logistic squad is a waste. So they just focus on 5-star logistic squad instead. And the next one, let's get to her skill. Her standard skill, Acacia throws a shuriken that fly around her, deal frost damage to the enemy upon hit. Apply Winter Moon effect that can decreasing her enemy movement speed by 10% up to 3 stacks. And if the enemy got hit by her standard skill for 3 times, her enemy movement speed will decrease by 30% for 3 seconds. After the skill no longer hit the enemy, to reverse the Winter Moon effect duration. The Winter Moon effect duration are being shown by the purple circle around the enemy legs. If you think her standard skill is very soft, it's kinda useless, that she only can deal damage every time the shuriken hit the enemy and can only slowing the enemy movement speed by 30% that almost didn't have any significant effect on the enemy. No, you are wrong, because this movement speed reduction are being assisted by her passive skill that can increase full squad damage dealt to enemy inflicted with movement speed reduction for 10%, and for each 100 alignment index can increase by extra 1%. So you better try to attack the enemy with purple circle first, because you can deal more damage to them. And if you upgrade this standard skill, you can stack up this skill into 3 stacks, and you can throw up to 3 shuriken at once, as long as you have enough skill energy. And for her second upgrade, after the Winter Moon effect reaches 3 stacks, it's not only slowing the enemy movement speed, but it can also frozen the enemy for 3 seconds and marks the enemy with Frost Moon. If you attack the enemy with Frost Moon effect, the frozen will remove and the enemy will knock to the air and deal 200 attack as frost damage to the enemy. Each target can only be frozen 1 time every 15 seconds. When you're using her standard skill, she can also dash to right, left, or backward, just like Marianne's standard skill. So you can use this skill to avoid getting hit by enemy attack with style. In here, they say that the enemy can only be frozen after getting hit by her standard skill 3 times. So if you ever wonder what if you try to freeze the enemy first using other operative skill and then using her standard skill to trick the game system so you can start to deal high amount of damage and knocking them up, the answer is no. She can only knocking up the enemy frozen by her arm skill. If the enemy already frozen on the field when she using her skill, then the skill will hit the enemy 3 times to refrozen the enemy. After that, then it's possible to knock the enemy up. And her standard skill also will disappear whenever you switch to other operative or when you using other operative support skill. So better watch out when you using her standard skill. The negative part of her standard skill is first, you need to adjust your position in order to hit the enemy. So you need to get used to her standard skill shuriken range so you can keep the distance between you and enemy not too far away or too close. You need to keep watch your distance between you and the enemy, because if you are too close with the enemy or too far away from the enemy, the standard skill won't be able to hit the enemy at all. And the second negative part about this skill is that the skill can hit flying enemy if the enemy is flying too high, like Balfour or any Elite Titan enemy, because most of the Elite Titan enemy like to fly in a high altitude, that causing this skill can hit the enemy at all. The next one is her passive skill. Her passive skill have a fast cooldown and decent skill energy cost, so you can use her skill again and again when you build her as a support role. Her support skill, Acacia will throw a shuriken that flies around the target enemy for 10 seconds, dealing frost damage to the enemy and around the enemy, and applying Moontide effect that can decrease all the elemental type resistance by 26.4%. If you upgrade this support shuriken, can suck nearby target toward it. Its suction strength is quite strong. It can even prevent the enemy from charging toward you. But of course, that's not apply on heavyweight enemy or boss. And the next upgrade is this shuriken will follow the targeted enemy when you're using her support skill to anywhere they go, even to the afterlife. Here you can see that after I using her support shuriken on Balfour or whatever his name being called, even after the boss teleport, the shuriken will follow him directly. So after being targeted by this skill, there is no escape. Isn't this skill more useful than her standard skill, right? And the last one is her ultimate. Her ultimate is pretty simple. Acacia throwing an even larger shuriken to the enemy, that creating a lunar eclipse storm in the target area, dealing frost damage to all enemy around it every 0.5 seconds and decreasing their movement speed by 10%. This ultimate also assists by her passive skill that can increase full squad damage to the enemy with movement speed reduction. If you upgrade her ultimate, the Lunar Eclipse Storm can now suck the target toward the center of the storm. This effect can make her ultimate become the most useful crowd control skill, because when you're getting ganged up by a bunch of small enemy, you just need to throw this very big shuriken at them. Then all of them will regroup into one place. So you can use her standard skill, or maybe you can use other operative that have AoE skill to knock all of the enemy on place, because her ultimate will keep exist even when you change to other operative. Now let's get to her manifestation upgrade. Her first manifestation upgrade is increase the AoE of Kagen Moondart by 50%. Kagen Moondart is her support skill, so again another buff to her support skill. This manifestation is pretty simple. It's only increasing her support shuriken AoE become much larger, so the support shuriken can pulling more enemy toward its center. And the next manifestation is when she equipped with frost weapon, it will increase her support shuriken resistance reduction effect by 40%. The next manifestation is increase the duration of Crescent Moon Dart by 2 seconds. Crescent Moon Dart is her ultimate shuriken. Her ultimate shuriken duration is 10 seconds if you upgrade the skill, and this manifestation will add additional 2 seconds to its duration. So the total of her ultimate duration will be 12 seconds. The next manifestation is Moon Halo skill level will increase by 1, and the resistance reduction inflicted by Moontide will increase to 26.4%. The last manifestation upgrade is decrease Moon Halo cooldown to 15 seconds, from 20 seconds to 15 seconds. This one is very useless upgrade, so I didn't recommend you to L up until reach this manifestation, because even in 20 second cooldown, the one hinder you from using her support skill is not the support skill cooldown itself, but instead of her skill energy recharge. Her skill energy recharge cannot catch up with her support skill 20 second cooldown, and now if you upgrade it to 15 second cooldown, it will make it even worse. And here I will show you her full build showcase. Well, it's not really important because you can try her yourself in her character trial.
さっさと片付けよう。自分の身の安全を確保して、あなたが怪我してはいけないから。今あの子たちを守れるのはあなただけ。何も達成完了解決次 赤外線カメラを搭載した
When you're using her standard skill, you can also hitting the enemy behind a wall because her standard skill can get through a wall without problem. As long as you know the enemy position, you can just attack them from behind a wall.
私の領域
But what if you didn't accept the fact that she is a support operative and you keep insist to use her as your main DPS? Well, I don't think that can be really effective. Here I will show you what if she's soloing a boss with 10 level gap. Here is my Acacia Kaguya that she didn't use her signature weapon because I'm broke as fuck already and I didn't use any logistic and manifestation. Her skill pool is 2 standard skill, and for her ultimate upgrade is increase the duration of Lunar Eclipse Storm to 10 seconds because the suction ability of her ultimate is useless against boss.
今回の相手はまあいいかここは私の領域
And here you can see that her standard skill is very effective when hitting a boss that have multi-destroyable part like this robot. Her standard skill will attacking all the destroyable part to make her easier to destroy with her pistol.
ここは私の領域
And even after the robot is breakdown, her standard skill can reach both of the robot's special weapon.発売には間に合うはず So my conclusion is, if you want to build an endgame squad, you can pull for her as a debuff to the enemy and buff operative for your main DPS. Or you want to take her home as your waifu, you can also pull for her. Or maybe you have too much luck in your life so you want to waste it, you can also pull for her. There are so many reasons to pull for her, but if you are free-to-play players or you want high DPS dealer, well, you better not pull for her. You can save up your pool for future incoming operative that can become main DPS damage dealer, help you carry an entire squad. Thank you for watching my videos. See you in the next video. Cheers!